Hey, what's up guys? We're here for my NPL Week 7 matchup versus Mighty Mamoswine. He is an analyst in the GBA, so he definitely knows what he's doing. I will get right into his team. He has Mega-Sceptile, Infernape, Azumarill, Magnezone, Nidoking, Mandibuzz, Miltank, Mesprit, Rotom, Yanmega, and Cloyster. So, before I get into anything else, we are 4-2 in this league right now. Battling for our division. Honestly, we have two really good opponents, and even Ben is creeping up from behind and getting close to our record. So it's a really tight race. We have the best division as far as win-loss ratio goes. So it's just going to be really tough to keep winning these battles and continue on and go on from there. So yeah, I'll just go right into the team building process. I just mentioned his team, so I'll go through with the first Pokemon. So the first Pokemon I brought was Permafrost, our Mamoswine, which is kind of ironic because we were playing Mighty Mamoswine. But anyway, we were carrying the Pasho Berry with Thick Fat, and the reason why I'm carrying a Pasho Berry is because of the fact that he has a couple water types on his team that are a little bit threatening to me. Also, there's the possibility of Nidoking wanting to carry Surf for my Mamoswine over Flamethrower because I already have Thick Fat. So it's just kind of treading on water here. I don't really know what he's going to do with it, but it's just kind of just in case it happens. So this allows me to potentially eat Aqua Jets from Azumarill much more easily. I'm pretty scared of Azumarill. Azumarill is such a good Pokemon. And then pretty much everything else is just standard. Like I'm pretty sure it's just for like Razor Shell on Cloyster maybe, and then pretty much that's about it. So it's just a blanket if I need it. So maybe I won't need it, maybe I will. But yeah. This is honestly just a standard Mamoswine set with Pasho Berry. Rocks are just nice versus his team in general because he has Mandibuzz, and that's his pretty much only way of getting rid of hazards unless he wants to run. I don't know if Yanmega gets Defog, but I wouldn't recommend using that set anyway. And then Cloyster gets Rapid Spin, but that's a bad set too. So yeah, those are his only forms of hazard removal, so I want to get up Rocks immediately, and Mamoswine is definitely going to beat Mandibuzz 9 times out of 10, 1v1 at least, so that's pretty cool. Ice Shard is nice priority, really good for the Mega-Sceptile. It OHKOs the Mega-Sceptile set, which is great because it's quad weak to Ice, and everything else is just nice versus his team. Earthquake for Magnezone and Infernape, neutral damage on Azumarill, destroys Nidoking. Both my stabs destroy Nidoking. Earthquake is just decent versus Miltank. It's a 2-hit KO depending on his set. If he's more of a specially defensive set, it's a 2-hit KO, but if he's more physically defensive, it can actually eat 2 or 3. And then for the Mesprit, I just don't really have a counter for Mesprit well, as Mamoswine is concerned. Icicle Crash will still do a decent amount to it. Rotom, Icicle Crash will do a decent amount to it. Yanmega, Ice Shard or Icicle Crash will destroy it, and Cloyster is just pretty much going to get hit with Earthquake. Not do too much, but if I can bring him down to his Sash, maybe after Rocks or something, bring him down low, maybe an Ice Shard will pick him off, but you never know. So that is the Mamoswine set, my bad guys. The speed investment is to speed tie or potentially outspeed the Nidoking. He has a base 80 speed, so he's going to have to run max investment to outrun me or speed tie me. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Mamoswine. I don't really need coverage in anything else. I thought this was just a decent set to bring. So the next Pokemon we bring is our Latios Eon with a Life Orb, and we're going to run Draco Meteor, Psychic, Earthquake, and Defog this week. It's my hazard removal. It's really great because Latios gets Earthquake, and that is perfect for Magnezone. I'm pretty sure if he is a max HP, max special attack set, I still have a chance to OHKO due to my Life Orb, and I'm not running a negative nature this week. I'm actually running Naive, so that's going to help me a lot because if I was running Timid, my Earthquake would not be doing as much. So I'm sacrificing a little bit of special defense for a little bit more attack, and I think it could be worth it in the end. So I'm running enough speed investment to, I believe, outspeed Infernape at 108, because I think it maxes out at 176. Yeah, and then Psychic is great coverage versus his team. He doesn't really have too many good resists to it. He has Mandibuzz, but Mandibuzz definitely doesn't want to take a Draco Meteor. I know it could just roost off the damage, but anyway, it still doesn't want to take it regardless. Yeah, it destroys Nidoking with Psychic. Azumarill doesn't appreciate Psychic. Mega-Sceptile dies to Draco. Yeah, Cloyster just gets bopped by Psychic and Draco. Yeah, it's just really nice versus his team, honestly, and I outspeed most of his Pokemon, so that's great. Even if he Scarf Nape, I can eat 2 U-turns because I'm minus Spadef and not minus defense, so that's the reason why I'm using that as well. Which is pretty cool because honestly I didn't think Gladios would be that bulky, but it is, even with very, very minimal investment. So next Pokemon we have is our Meloetta, and this Meloetta set is particularly just designed to wall Nidoking, and I guess Mesprit to an extent. Like, it still does its job versus Mesprit pretty well, so that's pretty cool. The Assault Vest also allows me to tank hits from Magnezone. It also allows me to tank a little bit of hits from what is it called? Oh, Yanmega. If he decides to bring it like a Bug Buzz variant, I will be able to tank that, and pretty much Oko with Psychic. Psychic or T-Bolt is actually going to do a very decent amount to him. Full Focus Blast is for the Magnezone, particularly, and the Miltank is kind of nice, but I would probably just click Psychic versus the Miltank if it comes to it. And then versus the Cloyster, yeah, Psychic T-Bolt is nice. Thunderbolt is for the Mandibuzz, and Thunderbolt is also for the Azumarill, so it gives me perfect coverage almost versus his team. The speed investment is to outspeed the Azumarill if it is max speed Jolly, and I didn't want to waste any EVs, so I just threw 4 in defense and 4 in Spadef, and just to make it a little bit more bulkier, I guess. We're running Modest Nature as well, so we do pack a punch with these hits, and we are not just a sitting duck with an Assault Vest. So that's about it with the Meloetta. It's literally just a Nidoking wall because Nidoking actually can't touch me. His Life Orb, Sheer Force, Earth Powers are doing roughly like 30% to me, which is fantastic. So that is awesome, and his Sludge Waves are going to be doing about the same, so that's great. And if I get a knockoff on him with one of my Mons with knockoff, it'll be doing even less, so that's great. And if he's Choice Scarf, it'll be doing literally like 20%, which is awesome. Anyway, so that is the Meloetta set we are running today. Next Pokemon is a Physical Thundurus. This is the first time we're bringing Physical Thundurus, at least a full Physical Thundurus, I believe, in the NPL, which is pretty cool. Blitzkrieg, our Thundurus, with the Assault Vest again. I will get into that in a second. But we are running the physical set with Defiant. Now, like I said, his only reliable form of hazard removal is Defog. So if he goes ahead and chooses to Defog on me, my Defiant will activate, and my attack will be raised by 2 for each stat that is lowered by me. So by him to me. So that is fantastic for me. So I could potentially get a free +2 off if he decides to get away my Toxic Spikes or my Stealth Rock, or both. Which is fantastic for me because I could take advantage of this and really hit him hard. So Wild Charge is just nice for coverage versus his team. Also helps if he is Assault Vest Azumarill. That is the reason why I'm running physical as well. It destroys Mandibuzz if I'm at +2. I'm pretty sure Wild Charge is a 2-hit KO as long as he's not like a max defense set, physically defense set. But other than that, pretty much nice coverage versus his team entirely. Knockoff is great versus half of his Mons, and just getting rid of an item is crucial in league play. So yeah, to get rid of potential berries, potential Assault Vest, potential choice items, which is really nice. So just making a Pokemon less useful, which is awesome. Superpower is great coverage versus his Magnezone, particularly, and also the Miltank if I need to get off a big hit on it, because I'm not bringing the Pangoro this week. So I still need a fighting type move on this team for sure, so I brought these Thundurus Superpower, which is still doing a decent amount. U-turn for initiative, so I have double U-turn on this team, which is pretty nice. I'm not just going to be a sitting duck with an Assault Vest once again. So repeating what I said, but oh well. Same speed investment to outspeed the Infernape, and then the Assault Vest is to be able to tank hits from the Magnezone very well. Also eat an Ice Beam from the Nidoking if I have to. Also helps me deal with the Mesprit if I need to, and then that's about it. Oh yeah, and to just be able to take on Mega-Sceptile if I have to. So it's just nice overall. Just the added bulk just makes Thundurus much more useful in my opinion. I didn't think I needed any other items, so We ran with double Assault Vest this week. And the next Pokemon we have is Yami, our Cofagrigus. We are running Max physically defensive with the Rocky Helmet and the ability Mummy. This Pokemon is strictly for the Azumarill, pretty much, and it's just also a nice physical wall. Could potentially take on Cloyster, could potentially take on the Infernape. Yeah, it's just very nice Pokemon to have on your team, honestly. Hex is great versus trying to get status on things. So I have Will-O-Wisp and T-Spikes trying to get status on everything, and I could smack it with the Hex. And what's good about his Miltank is his Miltank can't touch me, and I can't really touch his Miltank. So if it comes down to it, I will beat it 1v1 due to my Will-O-Wisp capabilities or Toxic Spike damage. He could have Heal Bell, but I could potentially, or not Heal Bell, yeah, Heal Bell and Milk Drink, but I could potentially get him out of that, and I have Pain Splits for recovery if he has Toxic. So it just depends on his set. Excuse me. If I beat the Miltank one-on-one, and I don't really think he would bring the Miltank. I would think he would bring Nidoking for his rocker, but I don't know yet. It's just nice coverage, honestly, versus his team. His only ghost resist is, well, his only ghost immunity is the Miltank, and then the Mana Buzz is his resist. So I wanted to take advantage of this. With the Mummy ability and the Rocky Helmet is going to be severely hindering the Azumarill, because of the fact that he will lose his huge power ability and make Azumarill like exactly half as strong as what it used to be. So if he wants to go ahead and click Jet or Waterfall or Play Rough or Knockoff or anything versus my Cofagrigus, the Mummy ability will activate on him and pretty much make him useless, while I can either hit him with a Will-O-Wisp and make him even more useless, or hit him with that Hex and trying to do some damage or set up some T-Spikes or Pain Split or do whatever I need to do, because Azumarill has a high HP stat. So that's pretty nice for me. Yeah, so this Cofagrigus is actually pretty well-rounded versus his team. I know he has the Nidoking to absorb the Toxic Spikes, but it's just another thing that he's going to be forced to defog if he doesn't bring Nidoking, or Nidoking dies in the match. So it's just a good for me. Also, he has potential Focus Sash users with the Cloyster trying to Shell Smash up. So if I can get damage off on it and then the T-Spikes damage, it'll kill it before it can do any damage. And then it's just nice residual damage on anything else he wants to switch in, so that's pretty cool for me. Last Pokemon we are bringing is the Mega-Pinsir. We haven't brought Mega-Pinsir in I think 2 weeks, so we're bringing it out of its shell, and we're running a hard-hitting set this week. We're running Double Edge over Frustration. This allows me to OHKO the Azumarill if it is a standard set like Choice Band or something. And the Quick Attack is just very nice coverage versus the Mega-Sceptile, the Infernape, the Yanmega, and pretty much everything. It's just decent coverage overall. I'm running Earthquake over the Close Combat due to the Magnezone, because Magnezone quad resists flying, so I think he would run it as a bit of a Pinsir Ball, but he could potentially run Bulky Rotom too, so that is why I'm bringing Knockoff too. So that way I can hit everything on his team for at least neutral damage and slash or super effective damage. So that's great for me, honestly. Nothing on his team walls this thing, which is great. Yeah, unless he's like Air Balloon Magnezone, then I'd have to break his Air Balloon and then beat him. But anyway, yeah, not too worried about it. The speed investment is to outspeed, I believe, maybe the Miltank. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Miltank, because believe it or not, Miltank has 100 base speed, and if he wants to run a fast Miltank, I will be outspeeding that. Also outspeeds the Yanmega before speed boost, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's about it. So, and the Mesprit if it's max speed. So that's about it for the team, guys. I will hop into the battle and show you what happened. So we're here, and he brings the Mana Buzz, the Rotom, the Miltank, the Azumarill, the Magnezone, and the Cloyster. So no Mega. He brings no Nidoking, and he also brings no Infernape. So right off the bat, I have no idea what to expect of the Pokemon that he did bring. I knew he would bring something, at least one of his electric types, but he actually brings both of them, which is pretty interesting to me. I knew he'd bring Mana Buzz because it's his best Hazard removal, and he actually brings both of his water types. So trying to take advantage of my no grass type, maybe. I'm not too sure. So anyway, excuse me. I will go into the battle and show you guys what happened. So I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my Latios. because it just matches up well versus anything on his team. He actually leads the Magda Zone, and I just go ahead and click Psychic. Oh yeah, before I go any farther, I'm sorry I paused it, but anyway, before I go any farther, we actually played the other day, and he messes up his Azumarill set and puts it with, he actually puts Aqua Ring over Aqua Jet and Thick Fat over Huge Power. So, being the nice guy that I am, I let us redo it. So this was a different day. This is the second time we were playing. We only played 2 turns, and then we decided to end it, and then we were going to replay. We had a little misunderstanding, and it finally ended that he would be able to change his Azumarill set. Here, I will go one more turn to fully explain. So I click Psychic on his Magma Zone, break his Air Balloon, and then he Volt Switches on out into the Azumarill. So what this happens is, in the first match, I clicked Psychic, and I did around the same amount of damage, and while he proceeds to click Knockoff. And with him not having Huge Power, he did not knock out my Latios, and he also did not have Jet, so he couldn't use the priority to beat my Latios while it gets down to 6%, I believe, without the anyway, you guys know what I mean. He brings me down to 6% with the knockoff after the Psychic, whenever he did not have Huge Power. So I let him change his sets, and he is going to go ahead and click Knockoff again, which kills my Latios. That is the misunderstanding we had, because I had a feeling that it would give him an advantage. But ultimately, I didn't have time for it, an argument, and I just let him do what he wants to do. So he clicks Knockoff, kills my Latios, but in the first match it did not kill. That is what we had an argument on. So it gives me a potentially free switch into my Thundurus, as he goes ahead and clicks Aqua Jet, which also wouldn't have happened if we would have stayed on the first game. So it brings me down to roughly 50% after the recoil, after I killed the Azumarill. And he goes into the Mandibuzz, and he actually outspeeds me, so I find out that he is Choice Scarf Mandibuzz, which is a very interesting set, pretty creative if you ask me. Going into my Cover Gigas because I know it's not going to do anything. I have no attack investment at all. Fire off a free Will-O-Wisp just to get residual damage and potentially, weaken something. So just go straight for the Flash Cannon in case I go into my Mamoswine. I believe that's why he made the play. I'm actually going to go out into my Meloetta, taking the less damage because it's not really going to do too much. It only does 29 because of my Assault Vest. And I do outspeed him, so I just go for the Focus Blast. Psychic was a roll to kill, and I didn't want to risk the roll. It was a low roll in my favor. As he goes into the Cloyster, which is fantastic for me because I'm able to get the Toxic Spike damage on him, and he actually has a Focus Sash after this T-Bolt. So I don't know why he didn't go for the Icicle Crash, because it might have killed, I'm not too sure. But he goes for the Rock Blast anyway, and I'm able to kill him off with the T-Bolt after the poison damage. So he goes into the Mandibuzz. I'm going to keep my Meloetta around, go back into this thing on the U-turn, and he's going to take Rocky Helmet damage, which is pretty nice for me, honestly. Getting residual damage off on this thing is actually probably one of my best bets. So I just go for, or he actually goes for the Hex, which Shadow Ball would have killed me, which is kind of ironic. And I go for the Hex and do about 50% to him after leftovers. So I don't want, just in case he went for the Hex again, I went back into my Zelda. I know he's bulky Rotom because normal Rotom wouldn't have taken the Hex well, so I will outspeed him and knock him out with the Psychic, so that's great for me. It goes into the Mandibuzz, and I have to keep this thing around. Well, I don't have to, but I'm going to keep this thing around, go back into this thing. And Foul Play is a contact move, so he will be taking more Rocky Helmet damage, which is really nice for me. So now he only has 2 Pokemon left, and I have 3. Go into this thing and click Knockoff just in case he goes into the Milk Tank, which I predicted. And and I would have knocked off his Choice Scarf, which would have been nice for me anyway. So he actually has Chople Berry, but I don't have close combat, so it doesn't really matter. I actually go back out into my Meloetta here, predicting a Milk Drink, but he actually just goes for the T-Wave. Because my Double Edge actually did not kill a Max Milk Tank, so I didn't want to risk it. Goes for the Milk Drink and actually gets the Paralyzation, so that kind of sucks. But I'm just going to go for the Psychic as he proceeds to set up rocks, and I get a crit. And actually, Psychic killed if he was max after poison damage, so in a sense it didn't really matter. He does get his rocks up though for the Mega-Pinsir, but now double Ice Shard kills this thing, and there's no way one Foul Play kills my Mamoswine, so it'll be GG after that. So we are able to beat Mighty Mamoswine in the NPL Week 7 matchup, and we are now 5-2. And this week also Eric lost, and Alpha lost, so we are back on top of the division due to differential. By one differential, so Eric is +9, I'm +10. So it's such a tight race. We have 3 5-2, 3 5-2 in our division, and we have 1 4-3. So we have all positive records in our division, and the way the playoffs work is 8 teams go out of the 16 teams, and 4 teams from each conference go. So each division has 1 person going, so the winner of the division will automatically move on to the playoffs, which is what we want. We want that top spot, and then it goes best records. So say our division has 2 better records than the other division, we could have potentially 3 people from our division going to the playoffs. So it's all about getting the top spot, which is it's actually gonna be pretty tough, honestly, because we have to play Eric again, and we have to play our other 2 divisional matches as well, and we have to play, I believe, Nick next week, coach of the Texas Tyrantrums, and we also have to play Mega Lugia the week after that, and then it's on to the division battles, if I believe so. Something like that. I have to double check, but I hope you guys enjoyed this game. It was pretty interesting. I'm glad I got it over with. I'm sorry for the late upload, but there's nothing I could do about it. Our schedules just didn't match up, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next week when we take on Nick. Alright, see you later.